Today I'm out here with the Fuji XH2s along with the Fuji XF200mm 2.0 lens. That's the only gear I brought. First time I bring out the 200. Pretty amazing that I haven't shot any bird photography out here with it yet. I've been concentrating on taking photos with the 150 to 600mm Fuji lens. Today I decided to leave that behind and see how it goes with the 200 f2. Fujifilm XF200mm 2.0 lens without the 1.4 extender attached is 300mm at f2. So what I've done with the Fuji XF200 is attach the 1.4 extender. That's going to give me a 420mm at f2.8, which is just awesome. This lens is just a beautiful lens. Image quality is outstanding, and the extender does not affect it in any way as far as image quality or speed of autofocus. I'm really curious and anxious to see how well the system performs today out here. I'm with a fixed lens, so I don't have the benefit I've had of zooming, especially out to 600mm on the 150 to 600, which at the long end is 900mm. Still waiting for that good light. I hate shooting at high ISOs, even though the fact that I'm at 2.8 will definitely help out today. So maybe I'll be able to get a few shots earlier than usual this morning. The firmware version that I'm running on the Fuji XH2s at this time is now 3.01, and that is the latest firmware version. I'm gonna go ahead and start shooting here. I'm on the south side right now. Decent activity out here, but I am really gonna end up more backlit than usual from what I'm seeing right now if I shoot towards the little rookery that's out here. So I may end up going to my left a bit more, trying to see if I can get that sun off to my side. I am using the back button autofocus on the camera, and it's been something to get used to. I haven't done that in quite a few years. I actually got into it many years back. I believe when I was still shooting film on the Canon EOS 1V, you had that feature where you could use the back button autofocus, but it's something I haven't used in a while. I'm struggling a little bit getting used to doing it here today, especially handheld, because your hands are really on the gripping the camera pretty tight, and you're dealing with a couple of different buttons trying to move the focus zone box, which is what I'm doing for autofocus. I have the focus zone box, and I do have the camera set to bird and eye autofocus tracking. I was photographing the snowy egret and the little green herring fishing in the water. And one thing I noticed is I was having issues where even though I'm using the zone box autofocus, and within that I had the eye autofocus turned on. If you have the eye autofocus turned on, the autofocus point will move away from the zone box that you have selected and focus on what it thinks it was an eye. In this case, it was actually focusing on a small stump or branch coming out of the water. So the remedy to that was to actually turn off the eye face autofocus tracking for birds, and then the issue went away. But keep it in mind, because this will ruin a lot of your photographs, and you'll be wondering what's going on, because you had that box on the head of the bird, but the autofocus point for the face and eye wasn't picking up the eye, and it was picking up something else, not even inside the box. I think it'd be a good idea, if not the AE lock button, but to have one of the buttons set up where you can turn face and eye autofocus tracking on and off, because it'll definitely be necessary to do so at times. about 10 minutes till 10 a.m. and the light is very harsh right now. Looking forward to the time change. It's definitely affecting the opportunity to continue to take photos up until like 10 a.m. So beautiful, clear blue sky type of day, but you're never gonna get any shade from the clouds covering the sun or anything like that today. A lot of the early photos that I took, I was photographing in JPEG mode. I eventually went ahead and switched to RAW in hopes that I can recover some of the blown out highlights, or if I got some of the photos to be a little too dark, that I can bring it back up a little bit, especially with this harsh sunlight. A couple of thoughts on the four-way keypad on the back of the Fuji XH system. On the cameras, I've gone ahead and the down button, I have that set to where I can toggle on and off between the RAW setting for image quality. The left button is set to film simulation. Upper button, I have it set to sports finder mode, so whenever I want to go ahead and crop in a little bit on the image. And the right button is set to image stabilizer on and off. I'm not sure that I'll keep the settings that way, but for now that's the way I have it set up here today, and we'll probably use it a little bit this way and see if that's the way I want to go forward using it. You guys have some thoughts on this? Please share and let me know what your setup is for the four-way keypad on the back of the Fuji XH system. Some thoughts on photographing with the 200mm with the 1.4 extender attached. The lens is awesome, as I've said before, but it feels short for this type of photography. I was left wanting a lot more millimeters quite often here today. A lot of it may be also due to the fact that I've been shooting with that 150 to 600 from Fuji, or the 2 to 600 from Sony. Now I'm used to having that kind of range available to myself. Also keep in mind that on the Fuji, the 150 to 600 is actually 900 millimeters at the long end. So I'm about 500 millimeters shorter than that here today. So these are the kind of areas that are pretty good for warbler photography, which is unfortunately shaded and makes it a little difficult to get exposures that you'll be happy with. But this is a place where you'll find them, but boy, they are hard to photograph. Very small, very quick. Hope you enjoyed the video here today. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.